Welcome back. We had an art talk with top artist Krishen Khanna. Mr. Krishen Khanna, in the 1940s and 50s, there was the Progressive Artists Group. It had top artists like Hussain, Raza, Souza, Akbar Padmsi. You were part of it and others. Now, all these people, they were friends of yours, they were colleagues of yours, but who was your special friend in this group?
They were all my special friends.
Being diplomatic.
I can't discriminate, but I'll tell you something. I knew Hussain the best.
Yeah.
And Ara, of course. They were regular visitors to our house. In fact, it was Hussain who inducted me into the group. See, the group had a little policy, which was that every member could induct one other person. So Hussain inducted me. Souza had inducted Hussain. You see, that's how the group sort of grew.
One person ever, or one person in a year, or something like that?
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, if there was somebody spotted who was like a likely fish, then he'd be brought in.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, it's interesting because you know, Hussain inducted you into the Progressive group, and on the other hand, I heard that because you were a banker at the time,
yes, I was
you opened his first bank account.
I did.
You did.
But this is before I actually joined the group. Before I was inducted, I opened his account.
In your bank, Grindlay's bank.
Yes. And when I opened the account, I went to the accountant and I said, well, you know, a fellow called Major Peter Smart, and I said, Peter, can we this new account? Do you know this man? He says. I said, yes, I do. I do know. He's an artist, I gather. I said, he won't let us down, will he?
Hussain, in 1954, he stayed with you in Nizamuddin in Delhi.
Yes.
I think both of you had a show together at the time.
That's right.
And I believe that both of you used to paint late into the evenings.
We had these night sessions. We used to paint late. Night is a very lovely, quiet time to work. Nobody disturbs you. No telephone calls, no nicks. And so there we are. You know, so we were painting and in the Barsati, and we had the Barsati in on main Mathura Road, you know, which goes past Nizamuddin. And so he was painting and I was painting. So he said, "Tum zara karte raho, main namaz pad lun abhi." I said, "Go ahead," you know. So he did his namaz, and I went on painting, and perfectly all right.
Is he a religious man?
Well, another time he came to Madras and he called me from the airport and he said, "Main aa gaya hu," and I was in the bank. So I said, "Listen, I can't leave the bank right now to fetch you. You go home, and you probably want to eat something. There's a fridge there. Help yourself." Then I suddenly remembered there was some ham in the fridge. You see? So I said, "Now be careful." I said, "Abhi tak Musliman ho na?" He says, "Haan, hu, thoda bahut." So मैंने कहा वो सूअर को रहने देना. So he laughed. I mean, he has a tremendous sense of humor, this man.
But what do you think of his depiction of Hindu goddesses?
I think they're perfectly innocuous. I don't think that I think the Hindus have done much worse. I mean, you know, in depiction of in sculptures and so on.
I think those who have a problem with it have a problem because they're saying that, well, if you look at some of the paintings, I mean, you have Sita, for example, on the tail of Lord Hanuman.
So I mean, what is Hanuman supposed to do? Carry her in his arms? How is he going to fly? He's leaping, you know. He needs his arms for other methods, you know. She's got and his tail is the only place where
You're sticking up for your friend.
No, I'm not. I mean, I think
you're sticking up for artistic freedom or creativity.
Freedom, but it was not. There was no malintent. Look at in every situation in art, you look at the intent. First and foremost is what is the intention of this man. Even in literature, you look at the intent.
And you believe that Hussain is a misunderstood man?
Utterly, I think he's completely misunderstood. Yeah. I mean, he's a part of a composite culture, which has been brought up, and he's celebrated all the Hindu festivals with us. Now, then what more can I say?
But you know, Mr. Khanna, just going back a bit, I believe that the first painting that you sold was actually sold through Hussain to Dr. Homi Bhabha. How did that happen?
Well, I was in Madras and I suddenly got a telegram saying that, you know, तुम्हारी पेंटिंग बिक गई है मैं हाँ डॉक्टर होमी बाबा bought it for 200 rupees. And I think the telegram probably cost him more. Just sending me that. Yeah. The incredible thing about the group was that there was no envy. They all wanted to help each other. It was a small group wanting to sort of exist by itself, and so these assistances and aids were always ready and given. Raza gave me a whole list of his buyers in London when I was about to be showing. I was staying with Raza. He gave me a whole list of the people who had actually bought his work. He said, "Inko zarur bulana," and I did. I called those people and I sold. I mean,
and you're still in touch with all these people. I believe that Hussain and you, I mean, he's a force living outside India now, but you keep speaking to each other.
We talk to each other.
What about FN Souza? Because a lot of people say he wasn't a very easy man to
He wasn't an easy man, but I got along with him all right.
He was blunt and rude often.
Yeah, he was never blunt and rude to me. I've got his letters, which are seemingly blunt. I mean, in one letter he sort of says that, all my old friends are fuddy-duddies now, and somehow our friendship has maintained. He's used those words. And he describes, I took him out.
Who was he referring to?
Well, he came and saw my mural, which I showed. We had lunch there. He looked at it, and he describes. Now this is the acumen of the man. He says it's a wonderful thing. I was very impressed with the mural, and in fact, parts of it are bits of genius. He says. He says, but I must tell you that I know that your constraints on doing the mural, because it's a public work which is going in there, and it's large. It took 4 years to paint. He said, but when you're dealing with art, you can't be illustrative only. That's it. And the painting must go beyond illustration. So if you saw my Bandwallahs down below, that's precisely why I broke it. That it's not, painting is not only illustration, because it's all right for books and things, but they're not necessarily works of art. A work of art, then if you're only going to adhere to the image that you're painting, you're leaving a lot out. And you can't do that.
I want to ask you something, because there's a group and we are talking about members of it. They're all great artists. They've been your friends, they've been your contemporaries, but they've overtaken you in terms of financial worth. Does that make you a little bit sort of bitter in some way?
I don't feel anything about it. I think good, if that's what they want. I mean,
it doesn't bother you?
It doesn't bother me one bit. No, I'm getting enough. I'm selling as much as I want to sell, and I don't want to sell more than that anyway.
Has recognition been slow in coming?
I haven't sought it, put it that way.
And
I
that's
haven't gone out of my way.
And that's why it's been slow in coming?
Obviously, because I don't flaunt the fact. I don't go to every exhibition that is there to be seen. I don't accept so many invitations, and I'd like to be on my own and do my own stuff, and that's important. And what is finally coming through? Why did you ask me to come here to discuss my work, And so it goes. I mean, ultimately work tells.
The government of India gave you a Padma Shri in the year 1990.
Big deal.
Again, big deal. Yeah, but this is exactly... Mr.
Shall I tell you something very funny?
Yeah.
I got the Padma Shri, okay? Because I think, I don't know, Satish Gujral or somebody else put in a word, and that's how it goes, huh? And that sort of came to me long after the fact that I'd got a Padma Shri. I noticed that Tayyab hadn't got anything. And so I whispered to the quarters that matter. It's not that I don't know. I mean, my own son-in-law is a big chap, various people in government, who are very well placed in high-ups and so on. I said, Tayyab Mehta hasn't got anything. So, oh really? No. So I said, well, he shouldn't he? Yeah. And then I said, well, what do you think? I said, listen, don't now make him at the bottom end of the scale, Padma Shri is given a dime a dozen now, So he
give him a Bhushan of
give him a Padma Bhushan, and they did. So I told Tayyab this. I said, they're going to ask him for your permission and so on, Padma Bhushan. I said, you've been recommended for that. He says, but you've done this, but you've got only a Padma Shri. So I said, yes, for lesser mortals, this is good enough. So that's how it goes.
It's very telling of how they select these Padma awards. Yeah, but okay, I mean, that's a different thing altogether. But I want to ask you, I mean, are you disappointed though that it's only a Padma Shri?
No, but
and that they haven't conferred on you something more befitting your stature?
Not at all. No. I never think about it. I don't even mention the fact that I'm Padma Shri. In fact, I've told people not to write it. You're supposed not to display the fact that you are. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, but this is the point I'm making. It's not befitting you is the point I'm making. And you know, does that disappoint you?
No, not at all.
You haven't got that recognition from the government.
Even if I had the topmost award, I wouldn't talk about it. My work is far more important than any recognition. It's nice to be recognized, of course. You know, it's better than not being recognized. Put it in the negative kind of fashion. But really far more important to me is my work and what my own response to my own work is, you know, and that's I don't think I'm going to complete it all in this one life. My next life is going to be even better.
But you know, a couple of minutes ago we were talking about the value of your works. I mean, you know, you're still selling your works at very high prices. But I believe, Mr. Khanna, from what I hear, you're a very down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
You don't have big fancy cars.
No.
You don't like going to big fancy parties.
No.
Unlike some of your peers and contemporaries.
Well, let them. If that's what they want, they're welcome to it. I'm perfectly happy with my dal roti here.
But you know, there are a lot of young artists these days who get very fascinated by these things, you know, high-value auctions.
I wouldn't say anything. I would just say, do your own work, you know, and be more concerned about your own work. I haven't had any discussions. I haven't heard of any discussions between younger artists as to what the intent of artists. But be it said to their credit that, I'm not even in a position to talk about it because I don't meet too many young artists.
Finally, let me ask you, as an artist, what's left for you to do now?
Paint. paint as far as I can.
It's been wonderful talking to you, Mr. Krishen Khanna. Thank you very much for joining us here on Art Talk. Thank you.